Are there ever times where a lender does not require an appraisal at all for a purchase? Yes, that actually does happen every once and again. But what I will say to start out is that that information will come from the lender. Just because a customer complete or signs a full appraisal waiver on their contract, that does not count as no appraisal required. That is actually up to the lender. So make sure and understand that there is a big difference between a customer signing a full appraisal waiver versus actually needing an appraisal with the lender. And I hope that statement wasn't confusing. Call me if you have further questions on that. But yes, there are times where I can actually call and say, hey, good news, I don't have to have an appraisal for this customer. So what happens, and this only works with conventional only. This is not a government thing. This does not work with FHA, VA, USDA, okay? But whenever we get the contract, so we have a price, we have the address, and we input it into our automated system. So Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae have automatic systems that we have to input every single property in. When we input it, it comes back and it tells us, hey, with your approval, you only need one pay stub or one bank statement or whatever it is. But it also tells us if we have to have an appraisal or not. And so when it pops back, it can say, and this only happens really with a customer that has a perfect profile, perfect credit, 20% down, money in the bank, that kind of, a perfect type profile. And when it pops back, it can say, this home does not require an appraisal. A property inspection waiver is acceptable. That's what they call it, a property inspection waiver. Has nothing to do with the inspections that you got that you're probably thinking about. It's just what it says, that we don't have to have an appraisal. And so that's amazing news. And so when we see that, we go back to you guys, and you guys may have gotten this call from me, because I know I've done this with many of you, and I just say, hey, this came back to us. It says we do not have to have an appraisal. Now, I do always ask the buyer if they're comfortable with that or not, because some buyers still want an appraisal, right? And that's their right. So I will always let you guys know as the buyer's agent and the buyer know, and let the buyer tell me if that's okay or not okay. Right now, since so many people are offering so much over, they love the property appraisal waiver or the property inspection waiver, because they're not having to come out of pocket with the difference if they did a property appraisal waiver on the contract, not with the lending. I hope that makes sense too. But people, they love it when that pops up. But again, sometimes the buyer will still want it just for their own knowledge, so that they know what it appraises for, to make sure it does. But when it says that, it means whatever the terms that we've input, if this customer is putting 20% down and whatever the terms are, that they accept it. And so Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, when they're doing it in their automated system, they're basically doing, beep, boop, beep, boop, and seeing if the house, based on the comps that Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac has in their automated cloud, whatever system, if it believes that this house is going to make value, is why if it's like a no-brainer, yeah, that's going to make value, then it'll pop back to us and say property inspection waiver is allowed. And so we love that news. So it's kind of like, the system's kind of like thinks Zillow, except it's actually correct or closer to correct. So I hope that information helps. Call me if you have any questions, especially because there's so much confusion between the property appraisal waiver on a contract versus a lender saying that we don't need an appraisal. So call me if you need help on that. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great day. Bye.